comic books to TV shows and all things loved by nerds. We'll share just how we rate them from our favorites to the worst. Poking fun at toxic fandom, so we'll kick this into gear and see what's on the list today. Let's discuss some toxic tears.
Tell me how you're feeling. And we'd go, fantastic, terrific, great. Oh yeah, strong juice, baby sucker. I feel wonderful. Right on, right on, right on. Juice, 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 juice. I feel great. Ooh, wah, wah. Let's kick some ass, kick some ass. Who's number one? We are. Who's number two? Who gives a fuck?
Okay, guys, welcome to Toxic Tears, episode cuatro. That's the only Spanish I speak. Part 1 of 2. We decided to cut these episodes down to about 8, maybe 10 films we review to make it a little more manageable. And you might notice right now that there is a certain someone missing because he punked out. So standing in his place is Miss Wonderful Woman, Brandi Cochran. Hi, Brandi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
So glad to have Brandi. She's Rob's wife, definitely the better half. She is a cosplayer who works with Be Your Own Hero Productions, has done all kinds of charity events with us, Ren Fair. She's done Scarlet Witch, Wonder Woman, Scooby-Doo,
Ghostbuster.
Yep. She's an awesome Ghostbuster. And also is in The Devil's Daughter as Harley Quinn's mom. And then was in our recent movie, You're It, as the Boo Hag. So welcome, Brandi. So nice to have someone better looking than Rob on the program. Anyway, guys, please don't forget to comment. We have one rule. Don't be a dick. If you don't know what a dick is, take biology. If you don't know how not to be a dick in chat, then don't talk in chat. Rob says better half my whatever. If you act that way, we will block you. Because this is not a democracy. It's a benevolent dictatorship. So
I like that.
So let's talk about the toxic tier descriptions. So number S is the GOAT.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's here with me. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
That means that is a movie that kind of sets the standard. Brandi, it doesn't have to be just horror, but what's a GOAT movie for you? Like, what is one of the better movies that you love so much?
Like Labyrinth, Ghostbuster.
Good choices. Yeah. So those would be good.
Original.
Which one?
Jurassic Park original.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Number A is
Good. Great. Awesome. Outstanding. Amazing.
That means it's a good movie. It's not a GOAT, but it's something you'd watch again, you'd enjoy, but it's got some kind of, lacking of being a GOAT. Then we have C. All right. Yeah.
Great.
It's watchable, not memorable.
You don't regret watching it?
No, very
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
You don't.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a big thing. I'm glad you brought it up. You don't regret it. F is so bad it might be good, or it's just not a great horror movie, but it's still watchable.
Right.
And then Z is
What the fuck?
yeah, that's we don't know why they made that movie. We had 3 last week. So anyway, we want to make sure you know that there will be spoilers. Like Brandi said, these movies are like almost 50 years old.
You got 40 years to watch them.
You haven't seen it by now.
Probably not going to.
That's right. Also, some YouTube shout outs we want to give. So when Brandi, Rob, and I don't have a chance to watch the completed film, we might watch one of these fantastic reviewers who do a much better job than I ever could. At Fanboy Flicks, he does some amazing comedic takes on these films. I love his takes on Neil Breen movies. Then there's our friend from Down Under, Minty Comedic Arts from Australia. He focuses mostly on pop culture and more popular films, not so much horror. The Bad Movie Bible, he does collections of films as well as individual. So he does all the knockoffs for like Alien, James Bond, stuff like that. Brandon Tenold by far is one of my favorites, one of the funniest review channels out there. Dead Meat gives you a phenomenal kill count. He's funny as well, but really does a great job of breaking down the kills. And someone we just came in contact with, the Horror Geek, he's also very good. And he covers some of the more obscure films. So check them out on YouTube. So, boom. All right. So our first film in our lineup, I've seen this one. Brandi did too. We've seen this all the way through, is The Hunger. Oh, before I do that, you know what, Brandi? Let's talk about, I forgot. So there were 59 horror movies produced in 1983, which is one of the lower, I think we were like doing like 60, 70, and now we dropped to 59. It's not the lowest. We'll talk about that in episode 5. The year of 1983, Return of the Jedi came out. Thriller came out. Nintendo introduced the Famicom. The Disney Channel was launched. The final episode of MASH, which was classic. The great collapse of the video game market. Everyone remembers the infamous E.T. game for the Atari 2600 that kind of collapsed. I don't think it single-handedly collapsed, but it was definitely a symbol of that collapse. Microsoft Word came out, and the first true mobile phone, the Motorola Dynatec 8000X came out.
It was the size of a suitcase.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge. Very good, Brad. Metallica released Kill 'Em All, which is a fantastic album. U2 had their breakout album War. Cyndi Lauper and Medusa.
It
Freudian slip. Yeah. Madonna made their debuts. And two big social impacts was the Great Satanic Panic, where everyone thought everything was satanic. It was when D&D, really Dungeons and Dragons, for those who are not dweebs.
And Dungeons and Dragons is not satanic.
No,
just
it's not.
Put that out there.
It's not. But a huge, and that was when they were the panic about there were satanic serial killers and all that. And Nancy Reagan's infamous Just Say No campaign broke free. All right, so let's get to The Hunger. So, a couple of quick notes. The budget on this, Brandi, was in 1983, it was $10 million, which that's shocking.
That's a huge budget, right, for that time?
Yep, yeah. It made 5.9, so it was a bomb. Adjusted for inflation, it would have been a $31 million budget today and only made $18.4 million. So it's best known for its goth style aesthetic with erotic tension between Catherine Deneuve and Susan Sarandon. The only one who had really explored kind of the lesbian vampires was Hammer Films. It's based on, the original ending, I didn't know this, would have had just the death of Catherine Deneuve's character, Miriam, and the freedom of her former lovers. Instead, they went with the ending where Susan Sarandon kind of takes her place, and Miriam gets killed by all of her former lovers, and they all turn to dust. The idea was because they wanted a sequel, which never happened, And that ending, the ending that we actually got with that ending where Sarandon takes the role, was heavily criticized by the man who made the film. And fans as well. Everyone thinks it should have been that, because I like the idea. The one thing I liked about this, Brandi, was the idea that it was almost like the vampire virus was a virus with a supernatural twist, but in order for her to keep going on, she had to have new lovers, and then trapped her old lovers in like that horrific limbo and the coffins, which that was really disturbing. So again, the only one who had done kind of the lesbian take on vampires was Hammer Films. They did 4 films.
Wow.
The Vampire Lovers, Kiss the Vampires, Lust for a Vampire, and Vampires. So I do think that Hammer Films probably inspired this. But it is, I don't know, it's not gratuitous, right? It's just, it's more erotica.
Yeah. A style over substance.
Yeah. The novel, if you're interested, there is a novel by Whitley Strieber, who also wrote A Wolfen. I didn't know that.
Y'all reviewed that one before, right?
Which
That's what I thought. Yep.
Terrible movie.
I haven't seen that one.
Terrible movie.
And it was by the same writer that wrote this one? Oh,
yeah, but this was
interesting.
not, like Rob had asked last time, so this wasn't the novelization of the movie, this was the novel the film was based on.
Okay.
So there was actually a novel before of the film. It became a cult classic.
Okay.
I actually enjoyed it. I didn't think it was terrible, but you have to like kind of that slow moving goth.
You do.
More. It's like a vampire soap opera. That's what it feels like.
So I was really disappointed when I saw this movie. I wanted to see David Bowie like Gareth and Labyrinth. You know, that's what I was going for.
It was subtle.
Yes. This was a very different David Bowie than what I expected. Obviously, it's a horror movie, but wasn't what I wanted. And it's not my type of movie, but I can appreciate it. Yeah.
But you're right. It was very subtle for David
Right.
Bowie, especially after he...
Not that over the top, outgoing Greg Rios.
Especially after he... So, Tony Scott was the director. It was his feature film debut. And he was nearly fired because he went more with the MTV style visuals. And I realized that's what he was shooting for. And it definitely, you could see the MTV influence. You could see that because that was when MTV was at its height, remember?
Right.
Before it became
just
just
kind of making
reality.
a music video kind of vibe. Yeah.
It was definitely focused on the music fan as opposed to reality.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's probably why
TV.
David Bowie was in it.
Yeah.
To bring in that audience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think Bowie was in The Bride too, which we're going to be reviewing. I think David Bowie was in The Bride, Hunger, and Labyrinth. Those are 3 films. I don't know if
he was also in another one, but I can't remember.
Okay. But
the drama.
Yeah, there were 6 people killed, mostly implied or off screen. And of course, we do see David Bowie's character killed at the end.
I think the other one's the man who sold the.
I haven't seen that.
That's what he. I could. I believe that's what.
I'll have to check that out. That's what is that doing? Why is that up there? But Tony Scott ended up directing Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Days of Thunder, Enemy of the State, and Man on Fire. So he went on to direct some pretty large films, just to name a few.
And none of those films look like this one.
No, like totally
not
different look.
Yeah,
totally different look. This one, I think, looks more 70s than 80s.
It does.
Even though it's got the 80s pop culture references, it's got that 70s look to it.
Right. Kind of 70s meets Miami vibes.
Yeah, that's a great way. As everyone knows, I just mentioned the cast. It was Susan Sarandon, Catherine Deneuve and David Bowie.
Dance magic, dance magic.
Which is a great song.
It's such
I
a
love
great
that song.
It's such a great song. I will tell you, I do like David Bowie's look in this film. He makes a badass vampire. So, but
I mean, I can appreciate that.
But definitely, I agree. One of his most subtle performances, without a doubt. Yeah. So, Brandi, what are you thinking? What do you think of this one? Where do you think it should go? It's definitely not a GOAT.
No, I would say it's watchable.
You say a C?
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Yeah,
a
I
C.
agree.
I wouldn't want to put it any lower because I think it has like a cult following.
Yeah.
And in reference to other movies genre, it's a solid C.
Yeah, I agree. It would not be an A.
Right. Oh, no.
I've watched it a couple times, but it's not like on my list of have to watch.
Right.
So, okay. So at least we start off not bad. Normally we end up starting off with a Z.
I think they're coming.
Yeah. So Rob's yelling at me because I'm not paying attention to the comments. So said you love David Bowie. You're right here to
Oh
tell me
no,
that.
I absolutely love
Yeah.
David Bowie. The funny thing is he's got my favorite voice of all times, but I don't love his music except for Labyrinth.
Oh,
So,
really?
Isn't that odd? Like I love
No,
his
that's all right.
voice, but not necessarily.
No, that doesn't not that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like a lot of times when I was listening, to him, I'm like something different. I know, I'm gonna get that because, but it's so true.
Yeah.
But I still love him. He's still my favorite singer. One of my favorite. Top 5.
He's got it's David Bowie is his main selling point is his personality. He's
Oh,
just got
without a
this
doubt. Yeah.
amazing presence. So,
Cool
but,
and confident.
yeah. So the next movie is The Final Terror, and both Brandi and I feel this is an absolute ripoff of Friday the 13th for a myriad of reasons.
But it is not. There are lots out there.
Yes.
Lots of other ripoffs.
But I think it's the most noticeable.
Oh yeah, like tit for tat.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So $1 million budget. Now, see, this looks like it'd be more than The Hunger.
Well, I agree with that, but I also don't think this looks like $1 budget.
No,
So,
it doesn't.
I think The Hunger looks like a 500,000. If this is a
Yeah. It made 1.3 domestically. So it wasn't an absolute failure. Adjusted for inflation, it had been 3.1 million budget and $4.5 million box office. There are 7 kills. The camp counselor in the beginning, which was added after the film was made to add more kill counts. The forest ranger who's killed off screen. Ty is stabbed. Mike is gruesomely gutted. Edgar is a death by a booby trap. And then the killer, who ends up being Edgar's mom, is impaled at the end, which is like a Predator style. And you ever notice like the log coming down?
Yes.
It reminded me of the Predator.
Right. And Edgar was actually beaten to
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah, he was beaten to death.
He was,
yeah.
yeah.
They thought he was
The killer.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they beat him to death.
Yeah.
And he was innocent.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
marginally so.
Yeah. The fact that they did the whole Pamela Voorhees as the killer is why I think it's an absolute ripoff of Friday the 13th. And I had told Brandi before we started that I feel like if they would have made a sequel, Edgar would have come back as the killer.
Yes, agree.
I
And it, it had the same relationship. Well, not the exact same relationship, but the mom-son dynamic. It was at a camp, by a body of water. Like everything kind of lines up to be a copycat.
Yes. No, Rob, the killer does not have a hockey mask. It's a feral woman.
It's a feral.
The
And
killer
she
looks
doesn't
like that.
You don't see her a lot.
No, not till the end.
Right. At the very end, she actually comes out of a tree trunk. And that's actually a beautiful scene.
Yes.
It's probably the best scene in the movie. It's a fallen over tree, with the root open, and she's in there and she comes out. So it's actually.
Yeah, the final kill is actually pretty good.
But it was, you mean like when they kill her?
Yeah.
but it was also anticlimactic.
Yes,
Because it
very
happened
quick.
so quickly.
Yeah.
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 And then I missed the final girl. When I have a slasher movie, I want a final girl.
Yeah, there was.
And they all survive, like almost all of them survive, which I'm
Yeah.
fine. I mean, no, I'm not fine with because I wouldn't have a final girl.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's why they added those 2 death scenes, because they didn't have enough death.
right, almost
And it
all
was
of them
not
survive.
gory.
Correct. Yeah.
So in that case, it's like the Temu version of Friday the 13th.
Right. And it also has a survivalist aspect that I didn't see in other movies where they're putting on like war gear, they're doing camouflage, they're setting up traps. It's a little different than your mainstream slasher where they're just kind of running.
Like I
and
said,
hiding.
it's got a Predator, even though the
It
Predator
does.
that came out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if just unconsciously the director of Predator saw this film and
It's
said,
like,
I
oh,
wonder
that's
if
cool.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So it did have a limited theatrical release. It suffered from being shelved for 2 years. It was filmed in 81, but wasn't released in 1983. And the only reason they released it
Hannah.
was because of Daryl Hannah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
And it's funny, I watched this whole movie and did not realize that Daryl Hannah was in it because she's so young.
Yeah.
So yeah.
and it was the Blade Runner film that did it for them. And the film was nearly unreleasable. It was actually pieced together because it was missing so much. They wanted to create a more linear story. Davis would say that the editing bay is what saved the day. It was
can see
also
that.
shot in the Jedediah Smith Redwoods in Northern California. It's considered the lost slasher. I think it's more of a survival horror than a slasher.
It's kind of on that cusp. I agree that it is sort of a survival. It is a slasher because she is, just killing random people in the. But it is not your classic slasher.
No,
And I had never heard of this movie.
no.
So it is a lost movie. I would agree with that.
Yeah, and I feel like it's if Friday the 13th and Deliverance had a baby.
Right.
Yeah.
And the backstory with her is that she had been essayed by her uncle,
Right.
and her son was obviously born out of incest. And he rescued her from a insane asylum in the woods because he didn't know what to do with her after he got her out.
Right.
So it is very Deliverance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they deliberately try to make you think he's the killer
Correct.
throughout the
Oh,
whole
he was
film.
definitely the red herring.
Yeah. Definitely red herring. So Daryl Hannah, for those Gen Zers who don't know who Daryl Hannah is, she's had an illustrious career. I think I've seen every one of her movies except for Clan of the Cave Bear.
I've never heard of that one, so I haven't seen it.
She starred in that, but she was in Splash, The Pope of Greenwich Village, Crazy People, which is a great movie. She played the villain in both Kill Bill movies.
I've not seen the Kill Bill movie.
Yeah, she plays one of the.
I haven't seen either of them.
Oh,
I
you
know.
need to.
It's
That's a
crazy.
Rob. Rob, what the hell, Rob? She was really good in Steel Magnolias. That's one of me and my wife's favorite movies. And she's in a really cute movie called High Spirits. Have you ever seen that?
I've not seen that one
Check
either.
that one out. It's really cute.
Every time I think of Daryl Hannah, the only thing I can think of is Splash.
Splash, yeah.
Yeah.
She was she was also in The Man with One Red Shoe, I think. I'm not sure. Because there were two, there's another actress who looks almost identical to her. And I would think it would have came up during my research. Tom Hanks. Oh, Laurie Singer. That's
Okay.
Laurie Singer. It's not and she looks here. She looks like Daryl Hannah, does she not?
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Yeah. She looks like Daryl Hannah. Sorry about that. She looks like Daryl Hannah. So, but I thought I don't. What would you think her best role was? I love her in Roxanne too with Steve Martin. What would you just because you know her from Splash?
I mean,
Splash?
it's unequivocally Splash because I watched that movie like 100 times. probably more than that when I was.
I think her best role is probably Steel Magnolias, but I really did like her in Kill Bill. She really has been good in everything. She's really
Yeah.
not had a bad movie that I can think of. But this had an all-star cast. Besides Daryl Hannah, Rachel Ward was in it. Now, I thought Rachel Ward had a bigger career, but
Mhm.
she didn't. You remember Rachel Ward?
I don't remember
Yeah,
her.
she was in the
Yeah.
Thornbirds. That was her
Okay.
big thing.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's with the Catholic
Right,
priest.
but I would not have
Okay.
known that was Rachel Ward. I just
Yeah.
recognized the actress. But the films that I found, Brandi, that I think people would know, Boomer, Gen X, not even Millennial, would be Against All Odds, Sharky's Machine with Burt Reynolds, which is, I think, one of Rob loves that movie. And then Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid with Steve Martin. But I thought, oh, Rachel Ward. And I didn't realize she didn't have that big of a career. Also, Joe Pantalone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't realize how many films he's been in.
Or vice versa.
Yeah. If you say his name, I think of 3 films: Goonies, The Fugitive, and U.S. Marshals. I didn't realize he was Eddie and the Cruisers, La Bamba. I do remember him in Risky Business. Memento's a good film, by the way. Definitely check that out, Brandi, if you haven't got a chance.
I think I've seen that one. Is that the memory one?
Yeah, where it goes backwards.
Where he goes backward. Yeah, I've seen that
great
one.
movie.
Yeah, I saw that one back.
And I forgot he was Cypher in The Matrix.
Okay.
And he played the captain in all the Bad Boy movies. But pretty stellar career. By the way, the Goonies, I think, is celebrating their 40th anniversary.
It's a funny story about the Goonies. I just watched that for the first 2.
Really?
Yes, but it was a good movie. I just never watched it. So finally watched it.
I can't believe that's insane.
No, I know. It was good though. I enjoyed it.
That's insane.
I wish I'd have saw it in the 80s.
Adrian Zemed was also in it, and I know him from TJ Hooker, Bachelor Party, and he was in Grease too, which is one of my wife and I's guilty pleasure movies.
Right.
But he's very recognizable. I mean, you see that face. Again, I would say Boomer to Gen X, maybe Millennial might know these actors, but past that,
So I am back and dab in the middle of Gen X, and I don't know. The only one of these I know is Girl Hannah, and then the last guy.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Okay. No, that's Joe Roth was the producer of this film, and he later became the CEO of Disney and 20th Century Fox. I'm sorry, the chairman of the board. So went from this film. It's funny because Rob and I were talking about this. All these people, these terrible films, went on to do bigger things. You notice that? Like really big things.
Stepping stone.
Yeah, you got to get your breaks somewhere. And then Andrew Davis was the director, and he did 2 Steven Seagal movies, Above the Law and Under Siege, The Fugitive, Code of Silence, and Holes. Very interesting mix there.
Yeah.
So, but and it was developed. A lot of the story was influenced from input from the producers, from the producer Lou Arkoff, who was son of Samuel Arkoff, and he was involved in films like George the Jungle, 13th Warrior, Up the Creek, Inspector Gadget. So a lot of dumb movies. So now I don't know if that's a great resume or not. But The Terror, what's your thoughts, Brandi, on that one?
So I didn't hate this movie. And I hated the end. Like I said, it just so quick. And it didn't follow, in a lot of ways, it was a copycat, but in a lot of ways, it didn't follow the rules, which I like for my slasher movie. I would say an F.
Yeah. I mean, it's not unwatchable.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it in a Z, and I'm kind of torn between C and F, but I think F.
I think just because it's such a hackneyed movie,
Yes.
that I think it deserves an F. I agree. Okay. Next up is Mausoleum. Dear Lord. Now, we're always fair and balanced here. I could not watch this movie, so I did it strictly off of you. Brandi watched it.
I watched it.
God bless her.
Never.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the Mausoleum trailer. I only have 1 page of notes on this. That's how bad this movie is. There's 6 people killed. Some of the kills are pretty well done.
They are, yes. The special effects are good.
Yeah, they're not bad
for what the movie is.
No, not bad. Budget was 1.5 million. It made 1.3.
So it was a little bit of a bomb.
Right. Yeah, it was. Yeah, not as bad as The Hunger.
Right.
Adjusted for inflation, budget was 4.7 million, and the box office 4.1. 6 kills. They did a couple. This was a video nasty. Which was what Britain called all these horror films, and they banned a lot of them. I don't know if this would qualify as a video nasty, but it's a supernatural horror that turns into a slasher. I don't think either works.
I do not either. I don't think it's a slasher at all. And borderline supernatural, more demonic.
It's like a really cheap version of The Exorcist.
That's what I thought when I was like, oh, they're just trying to get some money from the Exorcist bandwagon.
Right. And it almost like they went, like what happened with Amityville 2, which was a better film, is they went Exorcist, Evil Dead, and tried to mix them together again. It's famous, as Brandi mentioned, it's famous for its over-the-top practical effects, including grotesque. We'll talk about that in a second. It has a Troll 2 trope, which Troll 2 hadn't come out yet, where the name of the family is Nomad.
Okay.
And backwards, it's Demon.
Okay. Gotcha.
Where, like, in Troll 2, I think it was Nobgle, and it was Goblin backwards. Okay. None of it makes sense. It just doesn't. And it has a really confusing ending. The gardener who dies in the film ends up becoming the crypt keeper at the end.
So odd. I didn't understand that. I was like, what? What
it felt
happening?
tacked on. It felt really tacked.
And it's like, was he always keeper? But
right.
how was he the crypt keeper if he's the gardener? Like, right. It was just a whole weird thing.
He's just a horny crypt keeper because he ends up having sex with her. It's the first movie to feature monster boobies. I thought that's interesting. Her boobies were demons.
I know.
That was,
I can't see it.
Okay. And for those of you who don't know, the actress, where is she at? LaWanda Page, who played Aunt Esther.
The only good thing in this movie.
Yeah.
She was absolutely awesome.
And they literally have this theme in the movie.
And then when she's running around the house, like knowing that there's a demon in the house, whatever, they play like Tom and Jerry music. So it's so odd.
It really is. And she nopes out. Like she's like, nope.
But and she was the only one that did. Nobody else had any urgency. They were like, oh, yeah, her eyes are green. She's, there's green fog everywhere. Nah, we're good.
Yeah, she's like, I'm out. Everybody else is walking to their deaths, but
yes.
Aunt Esther did. And I feel like it's her, like they didn't even bother changing her character. They just said, just be Aunt Esther in this horror film.
Without a doubt.
So, but, and I'm not lying, they play the theme song in the film. For those of you who don't know Sanford and Son, that was Red Fox. Great show. I think it's on, I know you can rent it, but I think it's on like either Paramount or Amazon, but ran for a very long time. But Aunt Esther was the protagonist. I mean, the antagonist to Red Fox's character. Very funny together. But I just thought that was hilarious
And
that they went
she was
that route.
funny in this. Like she was comedic, break, I guess, if you will.
Yeah. Michael Dugan, the director, also directed episodes of Beavis and Butthead. So he went on to greater things.
Not surprising.
The main actress, Bobby Breese, which I had to be so careful when I looked her up on Google, she was a former Playboy Bunny, and she gained very fast cult status. Now, when I read that, I thought, okay, she was in a bunch of horror films. She was in a bunch of really B, maybe D movie horror films, but the one that I could find that would be most memorable was Ghoulies.
I remember.
But she also did a lot of TV stuff with Wonder Woman, Simon and Simon, BJ and the Bear, The Love Boat, Charlie's and the Fall Guys. So she did a lot of television. And she did 1 to 3 or 4 episodes, depending on the show. This was, she, I think, was the first, because I think Tracy Lords did this as well. Kind of, and she wasn't a porn actress, but moving from what you would consider porn to mainstream. She was the one, I think, the first that did it. So she was kind of a pioneer.
Yeah, because Tracy Lords wasn't until late 90s.
Right.
Yeah,
but I wonder if she used Bobby as kind of an inspiration to try to make the shift. Yeah. So it was produced by Michael Franzese, who is a real mobster from the Colombo crime family. And he left, and I don't know how he's still alive, but I've watched his YouTube channel, and he actually does a lot of stuff about real life mob stuff. He's interviewed folks, and he grades mob films and how realistic they are. Yeah. But he's also a born again Christian.
Okay. So that's good.
Yeah, this is a Z for me. You tell me what you think, Brandi. Because you actually watched it.
Yeah, it's a Z. I would never watch it again.
Yeah. We have the movie The Lift. And I'm going to let you watch the trailer to this movie. It is I think it's a Dutch film.
It's a Dutch
film. A Dutch film. The budget on this was $350,000. I'm sorry, Netherlands, which is Dutch, right?
Yeah, it is Dutch.
Thank you. $350,000 budget. It made $900,000, so it made money, which is shocking. It's the first one we've seen that made money, I think, that actually... Well, no, Mausoleum made money, I think. I think it made money.
I think it lost a little bit.
It lost.
Yeah.
Final
Terror made money.
Yes, it made about $300,000. So, adjusted for inflation, it would have cost $1 million to make, and it would have made $2.8 million.
That's not bad.
Not for this film,
and especially for a Dutch film that may not be as widely distributed. So yeah. It
was the earliest tech horror film because the villain is
the elevator. So the funny thing is when I was watching this, there's 3 elevators, and I'm like, is it just one? Like, are the 3 one, or are they like a collective, like the Borg, or are they all individually mean? I couldn't figure it out.
No, Rob, I see your comments. I
think it's one entity. That's what I concluded.
It's brain. They showed the brain,
right? Because it's like the motherboard,
yeah,
and then it's able to replicate itself or something to that effect.
It takes itself way too serious. If they had done more of a dark comedy, this might have worked.
It would, yeah. I think it would work better.
It's supposed to be a commentary on consumerism, automation, and bureaucracy. I think it's a commentary on how to make a really shitty movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's not great.
It's close.
And it's definitely better at the end than it is in the beginning. The beginning is rough. It's rough getting through that first hour.
It takes forever.
The last 30 minutes goes faster. There's there's some rough people in this movie too. Some unlikable characters.
Yeah.
I mean, they are in all horror movies, but this one specifically.
The parents having sex in the office and their little girl.
The little girl's left in the hallway.
Yeah.
And then she goes out in the hallway and she slaps her.
Yeah.
Not my thing.
It has some of the most horrific ADR. It has there it is. That decapitation is so bad. It's so bad. And then the ending is ambiguous because they shoot the brain because as Brandi mentioned, the motherboard is mechanical and organic. They made this organic.
So I guess it's sentient.
Yeah, sentient. Yeah. But it's organic. And I think the cop shoots it.
He does, which was that was probably the greatest scene in the movie. How do you kill an evil elevator? You shoot it
in the brain.
Who would have ever thought that?
Yeah. And then, but then it doesn't die. There's a jump scare ending, which makes no sense. This became a cult classic.
I could see that.
Really?
I could see that. Yeah.
It must be one of those so bad it's good.
Yes.
There is a remake in 2001 that was called Down. And then when it was released in the United States, it was called Shaft. And it was directed by the same director who directed this one, Dick Maas, directed the sequel.
The one that did the Americanized version?
Yep. Okay. It's got 5 kills. Decapitation, falls, crushing, and then the entrapment. How does it kill in the beginning? How does it kill the people in the very beginning? Does it suffocate them?
They died.
No, because remember they open the doors, they're all dead.
Are they all dead?
Yeah.
No, I might because
I
literally just watched it, but I don't remember that scene. But I know the guy who shot the elevator at the end. He is hung by the elevator. It sends out a
no. That's the he doesn't get hung. The other guy does.
The one that shot the elevator is the one that got hung.
No, the maker. Remember, the maker comes out and the scientist and it hangs him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they survive. Yeah.
Okay.
Easy mistake because it's a terrible movie. That's the poster for the sequel. It actually stars Naomi Watts.
Surprising.
Yeah. So anybody will work for a paycheck. And the cast of it also includes Michael Ironside and Ron Perlman. That's interesting. So I might watch the remake.
Film. Oh, that's a remake.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like,
no.
Okay.
I might watch the remake just because that's an interesting cast.
It is an interesting cast.
So, so wow. So this is a Z for me, but I'll let you pick, Brandi, because
I would put it at an F.
Okay. Brandi would watch it again.
I didn't say I'd watch it again, but I think it was a fine one. Like I didn't regret watching it.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I did, but Brandi is our guest and we're giving her the bye. Yeah. And it's nice to not see every film fall into the
give it
the
a
Z category. Yeah. All right. Every time I do this, I find ways I could be like, oh, I could have done that better. All right, The Keep. This was, I firmly believe, Bray and I were talking about this. Had they done this film the way it was supposed to be done, this might have been a badass movie.
It originally started out at 210 minutes, and they cut it down to 93 minutes. It was just a little bit too convoluted for me. No cohesion.
No, that chunk.
Right.
You felt it. 100 minutes of that was Scott Glenn's character who actually plays the protagonist. But here's the trailer for The Keep. It is a beautifully filmed movie.
Agreed.
And it's the first, well, not the first film, but it's hard to like it for not just the reason that we mentioned, but the protagonist is a Nazi who kind of repents.
Yeah.
So, but it's also fun to watch a bunch of Nazis get killed.
Right.
Because a lot of them do. But
yeah, it's just kind of an odd movie for me. I don't know. I don't have any other words but odd.
It is. You can tell you could tell it was messed with.
Yes.
Budget was $6 million, which you could see. It only made 4.2, so it was a massive. If you adjust for inflation, that's 19 million for a budget, and it only made 13 million, which is even worse. It was beaten by Christine, Scarface, Silkwood, Sudden Impact, and Watching Grass Grow. It does have a cult status now. I will tell you, the versions that exist are not high quality. I have not found a high quality version of this. I like it because I can see what it could have been, and I like to try to figure out what they cut that would have made the film better. And the concept is not bad. The ending is incredibly truncated because of the budget cuts. And it suffered some pretty tragic elements that I think also hurt it. And the director, Michael Mann, has disavowed the film, which is sad because I know he put a lot of effort into it.
I mean, if he had 210 minutes worth of film, he obviously put a lot of effort into it, for the original cut.
There's a novel which I do recommend. The novel is really good. I read the novel after I saw the movie. It's based off of this novel. The novel is much better.
I could imagine that.
So, but again, it involves Nazis. So.
I see nothing. I know nothing.
Oh, good to see you.
I see nothing. I know nothing.
The bad guy is named Molasar. This is final form.
Which I thought that, we've already said it visually is, a very attractive film. I think the monster looks good.
Yeah, it does. Although I almost feel like they would have been better just to make him, like they did the Entity, a invisible supernatural, because that's scarier. Work. But he's not bad looking.
And he looks really awesome when he first shows up in Fog. That's a beautiful scene
that's
with
a great
him
shot.
Being revealed.
Yeah.
I love that shot.
That's a great shot.
I see nothing. I know nothing.
As I said, Michael Mann denounced the film, and you have seen a Michael Mann film. Manhunter, which I recommend, is a prequel to Silence of the Lambs. You've seen it?
I saw it the other day on Pluto. It was just,
check it out. So good. It's really good.
So I had put it on my list. I was like, because I researched it, I was like, what? And then I found out it was
Yeah, it's a prequel. I think because
because
they had a Hannibal. They have the Hannibal series.
Okay.
So it takes place even before that.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Last of the Mohicans, Collateral, which is also a good movie with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx, Public Enemies, okay mobster film with Johnny Depp. He did a couple of Will Smith films, Ali and Hancock. Hancock is terrible. And then he did one of the best Pacino De Niro films out there besides Godfather, which was Heat. So not a bad resume.
Not at all.
And which... If seeing all this and seeing The Keep, you really see how they gutted his movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I would love to see that director's cut.
I would love to see the director's cut, but then on the flip side of that, I think 3.5 hours is a very...
Yeah.
So I don't know that I would want to see 3.5 hours of The Keep, but it's if they could have hit a happy medium there, would have been better. Maybe like 2.
Yeah. I think it could have been a 2-hour movie.
I think so too. Yeah, just a little bit more substance.
Yeah. And it starred a very young Ian McKellen, who plays
Dumbledore, right?
Yeah. Dumbledore, Gandalf, and Magneto. But they age him because then he gets younger because the Molasar heals him. So, and he plays a Jewish captive with his daughter. And his daughter is the reason why the leader of the Nazis inside the keep starts to turn to the light side, and then his commander comes in, who's kind of the antagonist. So, but Scott Glenn is the hero, and I thought Scott Glenn was in a lot more westerns but he's not. The only Western that I've seen him in is Silverado, but he was in Apocalypse Now, The Right Stuff, Urban Cowboy, Secretariat, The River, Backdraft, Courage Under Fire, The Hunt for Red October. I remember him in Training Day, Silence of the Lambs, the two Bourne films, and Greenland. So he's had a very solid career.
Very good.
So, also, Jürgen Prochnow played I don't want to say the good Nazi, but let's say the repentive Nazi, in the film.
I see nothing. I know nothing.
He was the oxymoron of the movie.
Yeah. But he is well known at playing both good and bad guys. He played the good kind of, well, no, he wasn't. He was kind of a mix. In Judge Dredd, he was in The Boat, English Patient. He played the villain in Beverly Cops 2. He was in Da Vinci Code, Robin Hood, The Replacement Killers. I didn't realize he was in Dune. He played the antagonist in The Mouth of Madness, which is awesome. He did a phenomenal job there. The Seventh Son, and I think he played the bad guy or one of the bad guys in Air Force One, but very recognizable for boomer to millennial, I think. And then Gabriel Byrne played the bad Nazi. Like that's, again,
Redundant.
That's redundant.
Yep.
I see nothing. I know nothing.
But I remember him most from Ghost Ship and Cool World. He played the hero in Cool World, and he played the bad guy in Ghost Ship, but I forgot he was in The Usual Subjects. So he's at and he was recently in The Ballerina. John Wick.
I feel like he's one of those actors, when you see him, you know you've seen him in something. You just might not be able to play.
Right, he's got that face.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the soundtrack was done, which is one of the most impressive parts of the film, by Tangerine Dream, who also did the soundtracks for Firestarter, Legend, which I didn't know.
Okay.
Near Dark, which we will be reviewing, Vision Quest, and Miracle Mile, which is a good one. I don't know if you've ever seen that one. That's the one where the guy gets a call that nuclear war is about to happen.
Oh, okay.
And he tries to escape it. Or he tries to prevent it, but then at the end tries to escape it. It's a really good film.
I've never seen that. I've never even heard of it.
It's got like a Mist-style ending, so I know Rob won't want to watch it, but
I don't want to watch it either.
Yeah. It does have
I like happy endings.
It has a very dark ending. So, but what could have been, it's such a heartbreak.
I see nothing. I know nothing.
What could have been. So, I can't grade it on what could have been.
And
I think it's
a tough one because it's visually stunning. The soundtrack is good. The soundtrack is as good as, to me,
right,
like an E.T. or any big blockbuster soundtrack. That's just tough.
Yeah, they kill a lot of Nazis. By the way, they kill over 10 Nazis. The end scene where Mozart comes out wipes out almost all of them. So I would say at least 20. I would say it's about 20
probably.
Kills. Some of them are gross. There's one guy who's split in half. Some of them are more like they get electrocuted. It's not, I wouldn't consider it gory or graphic. But it was, I didn't know if you knew this, Brandi, but it was chastised for the soundtrack. People thought the soundtrack didn't go with the film. Now, but if you look at the film, it definitely belongs in the film.
So I could see that because like when I was watching it, I was like, this seems like more like a blockbuster soundtrack. So I can see where people would say that. Yeah. This was not a blockbuster movie.
No, I based on the way the film looked and the tone and the tempo, I feel like the soundtrack worked. But if you were going into this film,
overall, I think
you would not expect. You would expect more of a John Williams kind of score,
correct.
Not that. Yeah,
you wouldn't expect this over the top, really great soundtrack.
No, certainly not synth.
And I mean, it is when we say soundtrack, it's a score. Like it's not, like what you hear on the radio. It's just a regular score.
It's the full score of the movie. Yeah. It's very synth, very electronic,
which I love.
When I first saw the movie, I thought it was going to be like more of an orchestral score. It's not. I think it's an F. I don't think it's a Z.
I wouldn't put it in a Z.
Would you put it?
I care, but I think it's
Yeah.
just because I could not watch it again.
If
Even though I know what it could have been, and
Yeah.
it's so pretty, just the cinematography, I couldn't watch it again.
no,
There's
it
just no way.
doesn't. Yeah. If you turn the sound off and you're like, it's like
Right.
going into God mode in a video game. You just want
Mhm.
to look at the backgrounds and all
Right.
that. But it's not pieced together. The performances are phenomenal. The music is phenomenal, but we can't grade on what it
Right.
could have been.
And even the sets are well done. Everything is where it should be. Meticulous. But
So maybe
not
it
a
should
good
go to a
movie.
C.
Mm.
We're kind of the performances, soundtrack, maybe that.
Performances were good. Soundtrack
Yeah.
was good. Visually, it was good.
I think if we had a D,
I'll say a C.
Cujo. The next three entries are Stephen King entries. This was 83 was the year of Stephen King.
The whole 80s was the
That was
decade
the
of
decade of
Stephen
Stephen King.
Yes.
Stephen King and cocaine. Actually, I think this was pre-cocaine because we went from this to like Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
So
Is that symbiotic
Yeah.
relationship?
so let's take a look at the trailer.
Sit. Roll over. Play dead.
So the budget was $6 million and it made $21.2 million. So this was, I think, the first true success that we've had in 83.
Right. This budget was the same as Keep.
Yeah,
And
and it blew it away.
It blew it away.
Yeah. Which is, when you tell cohesive storytelling, shocker. Adjusted for inflation, it would have been an $18.7 million budget with a $66 million box office, which would have been fantastic. There's only 5 kills, but I think the main part of this movie is the whole car scene.
Of course, yeah, without a doubt.
That's it. The kills are all lead up. They're good kills. They're not extravagant, but it's that scene when they're in the car. Dee Wallace's performance. This is her best performance in a film. Period.
Yes.
It was so hard on her that she was treated for exhaustion for 3 weeks after filming. So it's
That doesn't surprise me.
It scared the hell out of me.
It's just a great.
Yeah.
I watched it on repeat as a child.
Yeah, this is one of the few films that I did see as and when it came on HBO. Didn't see it in the theater. It terrified me.
Either. I didn't see it.
It took me a while to look at my dog the same way again because he's such a cute, friendly dog in the beginning, and they picked a Saint Bernard, which is supposed to be the dog that saves you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Stephen King has 65 novels, over 217 short stories, and 50 feature-length adaptations of his book.
Which is probably more than anybody.
Yeah, he's the GOAT.
Now, I wonder if that his books that you said if that includes his alter ego, Richard Bachman.
Yeah,
you think
that
it
includes
does?
that.
Okay, it does. Okay,
that includes everything. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah,
that is his alter. The novel the ending was not as bleak as the novel. I'm not going to spoil the novel ending. You should read the novel. Any of these movies for Stephen King, you need to read the novel. It's mandatory as a horror fan. But it does the opposite what The Mist does. The Mist had a more hopeful, ambiguous ending.
Yeah, in the book it's just
they
left
went full,
for the imagination, and in the movie
they went
there's
full,
no imagination.
One of the best horror endings. The
worst horror ending, worst horror ending ever. I wouldn't. That's good movie. It's not a bad movie. It's a good movie. But I can't watch it again because of that ending.
I love the ending.
The ending's awful.
Yeah.
You're tormented.
It's very much for some people like Event Horizon. Event Horizon is one of the best horror movies ever made. I will never watch it again, but I will tell you hands down, the best horror movies. A lot of people feel the same way about The Mist. Great horror movie. We'll never watch it
Yeah.
again. It's just too depressing. So I was wrong, Randy. He actually wrote this when he was on his cocaine binge because he does not remember the book at all. And Cujo was played by an animatronic, a guy in a dog suit, and a Saint Bernard, who they had to tie his tail to the back of his leg because his tail kept wagging in all the scenes.
Because he was happy.
He was a happy
Be a happy
puppy.
doggy.
Yep. King, these are all of King's movies. And I know you're not going to be able to see all of them. You'd have to pause the video. But again, 50 feature-length adaptations. It was one of the most grueling sets, as we mentioned with Dee Wallace, because the dog refused to act mean. And the heat, that was real heat.
Oh, yeah.
The summer heat and the fact that there was that they were pushing Dee Wallace and that little boy.
That's what I was going to say.
really
There was a
sell
child
it.
in the car,
Yeah.
it's part of that equation.
So, yeah, that's insane.
That was the 80s.
Yep. It was a different time. That's why we don't have good
time.
movies anymore. The director, Louis Teague, also directed Alligator, which we did review. Cat's Eye, which was another Stephen King film, an anthology film. The Jewel and Ivel, which is a terrible sequel to Romancing the Stone. And Navy SEALs, which is not a bad military movie. It's got Charlie Sheen and Michael Biehn. That's really why it's a good movie. But those were the most recognizable. Don Carlos Dunaway, who wrote the script, actually went on to write 4 episodes of The Equalizer. And his co-writer, Lauren Currier, who's also known as Barbara Turner, I really couldn't find anything that really stood out about what she wrote. So even though it's a phenomenal adapted screenplay, the people who did it really didn't go on to do anything major. It was shocking.
Shocking.
Especially with what happened with Final Terror, which was the complete opposite.
And they went off, and then this one made, quadruple its budget.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, they just kind of throw them by the wayside, which is...
It's weird.
It is weird.
Going back to Dee Wallace, who this is, I mean, her performance is almost Oscar-worthy.
You can see it in that still. You look at that and it looks terrified.
Yeah, and she, so the 3 big films she's most remembered for is E.T., she played the mom. The Howling, she played the protagonist. And I forgot she was in Critters. But she was also in 10, The Stepford Wives, The Hills Have Eyes, The Frighteners. I don't remember her being in there. The Lords of Salem, 3 from Hell, and that's 2 Rob Zombie films, 3 from Hell, and his remake of Halloween. I didn't know she was in that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so
a pretty good.
yeah. But she's done. If you look at her filmography, I was shocked.
That's why I was shocked when you put it up there.
I also thought she was in Tremors, but she's not in Tremors. And again, like the Laurie Singer thing, it's a different actress that looks like. But I would say this is a GOAT. I don't know, Brandi.
No, I agree. A GOAT, without a doubt.
Yeah. Just a couple of things. How do I get rid of this?
You move.
There it is. There it is. It went okay, there it goes. Once I do that, it goes away. So I might have to use the other tier program, but we'll see. The performances, the screenplay, all the work they put into this film, there is no doubt it's a GOAT. I think that you and I could pretty much agree. And Rob does too.
One of the big things about that one is the simplicity.
Yeah.
That they didn't go over the top. They told the story.
Rabid dog.
Yep.
Rabid dog, which is terrifying.
Exactly.
So, but yeah. Some people try to say there was a supernatural element. I don't know if that's in the novel.
I didn't get that at all. Not from the movie.
No. So, I think it's perfection.
Yeah.
Now, it's not something you're going to watch over and over again. Maybe every Halloween, but it's definitely draining.
Yes.
To watch.
And it's a different kind of horror, it's not like a slasher, obviously, where, it's a situational horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Did you make that up?
Yes, I guess.
That's fantastic. I love that, Brandi. Situational horror. See, Rob wouldn't come up with anything like that.
I'm going to replace you, Rob.
Yeah. So second to last is Christine, which again is a Stephen King film adapted from one of his novels. I don't know if he was on cocaine at that point, but maybe he needs this. He needs this.
I see nothing. I know nothing.
But let's take a look at the trailer. I almost hate talking during this trailer because it's such a good trailer. They knew how to make trailers in the 80s.
They did.
Everything
was better in the 80s.
Yeah. Again, $10 million budget, $21 million box office.
Okay.
Adjusted for inflation, $31 million budget, $65 million box office.
Oh,
yeah.
box office.
Christine is a 1958 Plymouth Fury. They destroyed 20 of those beautiful cars, which is the most heartbreaking part.
Which is the horror of it all.
Yeah, that's the real horror of it. One of the most impressive scenes is the car rebuilding itself, which was shot in reverse with all practical effects. It looks so good.
It does look good. I didn't know it was shot in reverse, which makes sense.
And they mixed the 1950s. John Carpenter, who directed this, had a reputation of doing these really, like you had mentioned, simple soundtracks or scores. This one has that, like the thing, that real simple. It like gets in your spine, and then you add the 1950 kind of other music. But oh yeah, that's the scene where the car rebuilds is absolutely. By the way, Christine's horn and engine noises were all sampled and repitched to create like almost like a creature effect or an organic, because she almost had like a growl.
She did, yes.
So, and it's not really that scary. I mean, it's got 6 kills. They're not extraordinary. This to me is a thriller more than a horror film. Wouldn't you agree?
I think I would still consider it more horror than thriller. Yeah.
I just don't. It's so different from what had been done before, and it didn't scare me, but I was completely mesmerized by it. Like you can't look away, and the kind of possession of the main character is really well done. And the characters are really well done.
They are, yes.
That's all 3 of these films, Cujo, Christina, and the one we'll be watching in a minute. The character development, which is unheard of in horror films, is exquisite.
A lot of Stephen King's movies, great character development.
Yeah, his books are almost like character story. Characters are the primary, and then the story is just, hey, we're going to put them in this story.
Exactly.
But it is the characters. Yeah. I know that sounds kind of dumb, but as a writer, most people write the story and then add the characters. I believe Stephen King has a notebook of just amazing characters, and he adapts them to the story.
I agree, because he
or adapts story around
because his stories kind of all intertwine. Usually, there's like a element that intertwine.
Yeah.
So I agree with that he probably does have a like a portfolio of.
Just characters, yeah.
And he's like, where am I going to put this character?
The story is always second to the characters.
Yes.
And that works in most of his films, but he stopped. Other films, it does not work. But in most of his films, it does.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously some not so good Stephen King
There's always, no one's perfect.
Yeah.
John Carpenter signed on to this after his failure with The Thing. And I think that This was Carpenter had multiple movies in the 80s that were absolutely pitch perfect, from The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, Halloween, They Live, Escape from New York, Mouth of Madness, Christine. He had so many good films back to back. But you look at his filmography, He didn't direct Halloween 2 or Halloween 3. He produced them. The Fog was okay. Halloween 3 was terrible. The Philadelphia Experiment's fantastic. Vampires was good. Starman was good.
Well, Starman was wonderful.
Yeah, it really is a good
Not a
film.
horror, but a great
it's a
movie.
Good,
yeah.
It's and again, it's Carpenter's soundtrack that adds so much. It almost is the soul of the main character.
Yeah.
Like the music is like the extension of his soul.
I agree.
Prince of Darkness, Ghost of Mars, which is terrible, Escape from LA, which is terrible, the remake of The Fog, which is terrible. So he didn't have all wins, but the wins he had were grand slams. The cast of this film, Keith Gordon went on to be in Jaws 2, Back to School, The Legend of Billie Jean, and Dressed to Kill. I know he was in Dressed to Kill. John Stockwell is probably most remembered for his small role in Top Gun as Cougar. But if you ever get a chance to see My Science Project, he's the lead in that as well. It's a really cool film.
Oh, I haven't seen
They
it.
find this UFO engine and it opens up a rift in time. And it's really, really good. Hold on. What I like about it is the cast is insane. It's a cute movie. It's not going to be like...
Not cerebral, but cute.
It's 1985. Yeah, it's just a fun popcorn movie. But it's got...
Those are the best.
It's got Fisher Stevens, who's hilarious. Dennis Hopper plays like a stoned out teacher. It's fantastic. So, Alexandra Paul was in Dragnet, Sharknado, but she's most known for Baywatch and for Melrose Place. So, and then of course, Henry Dean Stanton was in everything from Pretty in Pink to Alien, which we all remember from, Escape from New York, Cool Hand Luke, and Kelly's Heroes. Yeah, he's a well-known actor. But just an insane movie. I would say GOAT. What do you say?
I would say GOAT as well.
Yeah. And it not for it's got amazing kills.
Yeah.
It's just a very well-made horror film. I don't know why it didn't do that last. Every time we have some sort of technical thing that comes up, but definitely a GOAT, without a doubt, a GOAT. So, I literally watch this movie every time it comes on. Unlike Cujo, I watch Christine every time it comes on.
Now, see, I would watch Cujo if it, like if it
Oh,
came
really?
on, and more so than Christine.
Wow,
Yep,
really?
Yep. I would.
That's
But I like them both.
crazy
But now
talk.
I think I'm the opposite of you. I think of Cujo more like a thriller and Christine more of a horror, where I
Really?
feel like that you're flipped.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Cujo definitely for me is horror.
and then Christine is more of a thriller.
And I put Cujo up with survival horror.
Yep.
As opposed to, but I think Christine is more of a, that's interesting. Okay. Very cool.
Two different takes.
Very cool. Yep. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
So next up is The Dead Zone. This is the last of the Stephen King thrillers for 1983. This is one of my favorite all-time movies. I also think it's Christopher Walken's best performance.
Fun fact: this is the only one on here I haven't watched.
Please watch it.
Yeah, I have not watched, so I have to defer to you on this one. Yeah.
This is the same thing as Amityville Horror, Poltergeist. It's in a whole nother level of horror. It's psychic horror. And it's just such a well-told story. And Walken, who's normally very over the top, is very subtle in this, and it works.
Yeah.
So,
and I know the premise of it. I know the book's good. I've seen the spinoff, for the, I believe there was.
Yes.
And I've seen episodes of that, but I have not seen this that I could remember. I may have when I was little.
Yeah, no,
I can't remember.
I have seen this film at least 100 times.
This was the only one I couldn't get to.
Oh, Tammy thinks Cujo is the GOAT. I didn't know that either. I didn't know that either.
She thinks they're both goats?
No, she thinks Cujo is.
What about Christine?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, just
so
I agree.
this was his third win. $10 million budget,
Yeah.
$21 million box office, adjusted for inflation, $31 million budget, $65 million box
Yeah.
office. And you are correct. There was a TV series that lasted 80 episodes.
Which is a long time.
I hated the TV series. I did not like it.
I didn't mind the TV series. I just don't like the actor who lead.
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
It's of all the films we'll watch, it's got the lowest kill count. Just 3 people die, and one of them is Walken's character. And then off screen, you have Frank Dodd's victims, but we really don't know how many people the serial killer Frank Dodd, which is the subplot of the film, killed. I would love to see that movie. I wish he would make that
in the
movie.
background. Yeah.
Just the castle rock killer. But we don't know how many kills. So it says 3 on screen, which is correct. But as far as an accurate kill count, we don't really have that. But I'm going to say it's the lowest on there, as far as that's concerned. So, and I personally think that his girlfriend in this film is the Jenny of the horror universe.
The Jenny.
I'm telling, when you watch it, you're gonna call me and go, Ron, she is definitely the Jenny of the horror universe.
She is the worst character.
Yeah,
in
she rivals it because they're gonna get married, and I don't want to tell you too much.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, but they're gonna get married, and then he goes into coma, which is in the trailer.
Oh, I know the spoiler. She gets married.
And then goes and has sex with him.
Ooh.
And then leaves him, then sees him again. It's like this constant...
Wow. Oh, that's awful.
And then only tells him she loves him when he gets shot. So
wow.
This is the series that Brandi was talking about. 6 seasons, 80 episodes. I did not know it ran that long. I don't like the series. I would have preferred them make a, like I told Brandi, a Castle Rock killer.
Right.
Because I would love to see, and they could tie it into the movie. So his girlfriend Jenny, played by Brooke Adams, is Sarah, her name is Sarah, is the Jenny of the horror universe. If you've seen his film, you absolutely know that. Cronenberg made this film. This is one of the few movies besides History of Violence that Cronenberg did where there wasn't some element of body horror. And we're going to be reviewing The Fly, Videodrome. I don't know about Dead Ringers or The Brood, but Cronenberg has an impressive... yeah, absolutely.
The Fly was one of my favorites.
It really is good.
It's such
one of the best remakes ever.
Yeah. Oh, so I didn't even realize... I probably knew that at some point, but I didn't realize it was a remake.
Oh, yeah. If you watch the 50s Fly, which at that time obviously was terrifying because you had a guy with a big fly.
Right.
It's one of the... remakes usually suck. The Fly broke the mold.
Right.
Jeffrey Beam was the screenwriter. That's his filmography. Inner Space, Lost Boys, Indiana Jones, The Phantom, all 3 of the first Lethal Weapon films, Funny Farm, and The Adventures of Briscoe County. Oh, wow. He's a phenomenal screenwriter.
Good.
All of the films.
Lost Boys is another classic.
Yeah,
I consider.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be a GOAT.
Yeah, a GOAT.
But The Phantom is the only one that I know of that was terrible. Funny Farm was okay.
Yeah.
It's a Chevy Chase movie.
I see 4 goats on your screen right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Oh, yeah. Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade is one of the best. I think my 2 favorite Indiana Jones films is the first one and the last one.
I love The Last Crusade.
Yeah, I'm sorry, not the last one. That was a Dial of Destiny, but yep. And again, Christopher Walken's performance was absolutely...
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
More cowbells.
One of the greatest...
I should have brought the cowbell.
One of the greatest skits when Saturday Night was funny. But I didn't realize... I knew he was in a lot of films, but he has 133 credits. Christopher Walken. And he's still making movies. He was in The Deer Hunter, Communion, Pulp Fiction, Sleepy Hollow, where he had no lines. He was just The
Was he the
Headless Horseman? In fact, if you look behind Brandi, I have my figure collection. Brainstorm, which is fantastic. If you get a chance to watch that.
I've seen that.
That's where they record someone's near-death experience.
Okay.
And he's trying to...
Right.
Biloxi Blues, he plays the drill sergeant. Seven Psychopaths, hand down one of the best films ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Kill the Irishman, which I just saw, which he has a small part in, but of course any part Walken's in is huge. Yeah. Dune, Suicide Kings, another great film. I didn't know he was in The Living Daylights. Plays Shrek in Batman Returns.
Okay.
He was in Man on Fire. He plays God in Click. Plays the dad in Blast from the Past. He played in all three Prophecy films where he plays, I think, the Antichrist or one of the angels that's been corrupted, Michael or Gabriel.
Okay.
I haven't seen those, but they're called classics. But definitely the GOAT.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
More cowbell.
Also in the film was Tom Skerritt. People will probably remember him from Alien, which, by the way, Rob and I saw in the theater. And had they not been smoking in space, you would have think that movie was made today. That's how good it still looks.
Yeah, you're right.
Holds up.
Oh, it does, absolutely. And it's funny when you watch 80s movies, you have some 80s movies that, like you said, they look like they've been made today.
Time, yeah.
And then you have some that not aged well. They were like great in the time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Especially the comedies.
Yeah.
So he played the commander in Top Gun. He was in Steel Magnolias. He played the uncle, I think, in Poltergeist 3. Terrible movie. And he's known for Picket Fences, which was one of my favorite shows growing up. Martin Sheen also is in it. It's funny because he's in this and Firestarter, and he almost plays the same character. At least the mannerisms and the over-the-topness, because he's really over-the-top in this film. But people most know him from The West Wing, but I know him, and I know Rob will know him from Apocalypse Now. But he was also in Wall Street, The Final Countdown, Gettysburg, Spawn, and he was supposed to be Uncle Ben in The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Why didn't he?
I think he was. I think it was cut.
Okay.
Because, correct me, chat, I don't think he's actually in the movie because I think he was cut. It's alluded to where he's cast. He's in the cast.
He was cast. Okay.
Yeah, as Uncle Ben. So, yeah. So, The Dead Zone, one more time.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Wear it out.
I'm keeping that one. That's going to be a regular sound. So yeah, I think this is the GOAT. I know you really can't judge it, Brandi, but I think
I would assume. I mean, I've never heard anybody say anything but just sing your praises.
And it's become on top of being a success in the 80s, it's become a cult classic.
Oh, absolutely.
So, which typically films that do well. I don't really know if they fall under cult status, but well, that's impressive.
And we look biased because all Stephen King are at the top, but obviously it was the sign of the times.
They definitely earned it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So let's talk about our final picks. As GOATs, we've got Cujo, we've got Christine, and The Dead Zone. So Mr. Stephen King owns the night.
That's what I'm talking about! Yep. That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
No A's.
No A's.
No A's.
That's a hard category, though. For me, it's a hard because it's either going to be like there's not
C
a middle.
or an S.
Yeah, it's going to be one or the other.
Yep. As far as C's, we have The Hunger and The Keep. The Keep. We're giving it a lot of credit. I mean, it's got great performances, great soundtrack, but as far as a film overall, would I recommend to watch it? Yes.
As an
experience.
Okay.
But I would not recommend it as a good film. Like, if I said, watch Christine, it would be because Christine's a great film. If I said, if you want to see a really cool concept film, see The Keep. For the F, the Final Terror, and Lift, I would have given the Lift a Z, but Brandi is right. Unique idea.
It
The
is a
last
unique
30
idea,
minutes is not
yeah.
bad. Yeah, it looks okay. And then the only Z this time, which is the first time in 4 episodes, we had Mausoleum.
And it should definitely be.
Yeah. Now we're going to keep this up because we have a part 2 next Thursday. Rob will be back and we'll be doing the second 8 films of 1983. So we're going to say bye to you guys. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you check all of our channels out, our Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Rumble. Guys, have an amazing night. Thanks for joining us. I hope we did a good job for you guys. Talk to you again soon.